Good evening, and welcome back to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running our game as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm von Kessel, and we're all going to die. And I'm joined today by our good friends.
Jill the Knight is playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
Thank you for joining us once again. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you're in for a treat tonight. We are the Dungeon Dudes. Kelly and I post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. So you can check us out at youtube.com/DungeonDudes.
You can also join us live on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube as well, and you can catch us as an audio-only podcast on your favorite podcasting platform.
For those of you who are watching the show live with us, just a heads up that next week, the first week of November, we will be taking the week off of our live streams, so we'll be having a little bit of a break just to, get us all ready for dealing with the Novembers. With that, let's return to the shadows.
Drakkenheim is no more. For 15 years, we foolishly believed the madness and mayhem of that crumbling city was confined to the ruins. We were wrong. Insidious horrors have crept out of the shadow of Drakkenheim into a world unprepared for such nightmares. Tales of strange magic, swirling haze, and unspeakable terrors echo through the villages and towns surrounding that accursed place. Now, the Dusk Wardens, a new band of heroes, are tasked with driving out the seeping tendrils of the spreading darkness before it takes root.
Welcome back to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. When last we left our heroes working together with the Steelfang mercenaries and the Hooded Lanterns, they brought the fight back to the Countess, Constance Kleinkessel, the current occupant of Kesselholm Keep. Coming up with a plan of deception, our heroes infiltrated to steal the blanket of night that would allow to get rid of the Countess's escape plan, which she did indulge in because they did. Our heroes managed to successfully force her to retreat. However, when she encountered the fact that she could not escape into the Dreamland, well, strange. Are we okay? Okay. Strange things happened from there, for the Countess willfully contaminated herself, transforming herself into a creature of legend known as a striga, a contaminated monster that evokes the old legends of the ancient vampires of old. The striga now howls over Kesselholm Keep as dawn was on the cusp of breaking. Yet, just as the sliver of sun breaks over the horizon of Lake Dray, which the keep overlooks, it rises up as a black sun, eclipsed in a fiery corona, or making its way across the bridge as lightning strikes through the sky, the kind of this midnight, like this crimson sky, is the rider, the Dullahan, upon a fiery steed charging across the bridge, slaying Steelfang and the Countess's undead minions alike. As the vengeful creature makes its way across the bridge, two of our heroes looked up to see what was going on. And looking into the keep, Wilhelm, you are with Elias Drexel as you look over the balcony inside the main hall of the keep. And you see the battle unfolding between the Steelfangs and the Countess's minions. And as the Dullahan crosses the bridge and enters into the door, the front gates of the keep into the great hall, you see the ferocious form of Rickard Steelfang, this ravening, gigantic werewolf, a loup-garou, with an aftershock of almost burning energy. He transforms back into the form of a man, looking in shock at his hands. Looking beside you, Elias Drexel turns white like a ghost as the Doulahan, headless, strides into the front gates, upon which it takes on a fiery countenance where its head should be, a face you know well, Wilhelm, one of your late father, Manfred von Kessel. Meanwhile, out in the courtyard, Wrath and Rudy stare down this ferocious striga, the mutated form of the Countess. It is a lanky, elongated creature with its skin stretched tight over its long limbs, rippling with muscle, and strange bat-like wings that unfurl from its back, and a skull like a bat's, a gigantic bat skull for a head. With his massive talons that you saw rip apart a demon, it is now broken out and is soaring through the sky. And although dawn has come, the sun has not risen with it. And thus, this vampiric creature still flies about, undisturbed by the light of the sun. The battle rages around you. What will you do? Do you want to switch out?
Rickard is no longer huge. He is but a man. And I suppose... Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
I've defeated him.
He transforms on the mounted and unmounted. He's riding in on the horse though.
yeah, so he's now in here.
Yeah.
Are those
So
guys
he
on the bridge
burst
still
through.
there?
So this is your.
No.
So Wilhelm, this is your father riding a flaming horse, who just entered your castle.
He was always a very fiery man.
He had a. Yeah, he liked a lot of shine. came
We're
in.
not in initiative order at the moment.
I'll give you all a minute to get your bearings. But if you want to discuss a plan, you're going to have to all come to the. If you want to, you can stay in your current positions, or you can take the moment to all retreat to the same position if you want to discuss things. Because right now you're all kind of separated.
I think seeing my dad walk in to the castle,
Right in.
to the castle with a firehead, I turn back out of the castle towards my two friends and I yell, "You need to keep that thing busy. I have something to do here." I hope that's good enough for you. Keep that thing busy,
Busy.
pointing at the giant monster that just juice boxed a demon that you summoned, but moments ago. Keep it busy, I yell.
I'm gonna look at Rudy, and I give one of those like, "Are you for real?" Gesturing to to Wilhelm, just a casual keep it busy, like it's like a child that you're watching over. Just this thing ripped my demon in half.
I'm going to try to get us sunlight.
Okay.
I'm still
Beside
big, Rudy.
you, Elias Drexel is still in shock, just staring at the rider as it makes its way through the hallway. Even Rickard Steelfang seems stunned in the moment, even as his warriors in front of him in the midst of the great hall, one of Rickard Steelfang's warriors starts shaking him because all of them have been forced out of their werewolf forms, and as the battle and it looks like the battle is turning against the Steelfangs, with the chaos of this new interloper and the Countess's other minions still engaged in combat with them. Rudy, what are you going to do?
So I'm in the courtyard. I've just been yelled at to keep it busy.
Just a direct order.
And am I down there with a few guys?
And then there's the stairs that lead up. So sorry, I forgot
right.
to put those down there.
I think initially I was like, all right, well, I'll make sure it doesn't get down the well. But now I'm rethinking my strategy, and I'm going to run back up to Wrath
Okay.
to discuss a plan.
And Wilhelm, you're going to keep your position?
I am.
Okay, then I'm going to have all of you roll for initiative.
Yeah.
15.
Okay, 15 for Rudy.
14.
Okay, so actually pretty close to what we had before.
13 for me.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I have to choose to go first. No.
Dice are off to a bad start.
You got this, Rudy.
okay.
That's what I need tonight. Bad dice. Okay, thanks, dice.
Is there a
Roll above a 10, I dare you. Thank you.
using no?
They've been good this whole campaign.
Except for last week.
Except for last week. Apparently when it counts. Apparently they're scared. They're scared. Scared dice.
Okay. So, kicking things off, the striga. Circling around above the tower, the striga lets out a horrific screech. And the echo reverberates off the castle walls as it does so. Wilhelm, you are inside the castle, so I'm not going to have you roll the save, but Rudy and Wrath, you do have to make a wisdom saving throw.
We get advantage because of our hero's feast.
The Hero's Feast doesn't make you immune to fear, does it? Mm-hmm. Oh, it does! Does it?
We
Yeah.
are immune to frightened.
Mean to frightened.
Okay, so you still do have to make the save, because you still might take some damage, but you will not be frightened if you fail.
25.
13.
Okay, Wrath, you do succeed. Rudy, you fail. You, Rudy, are going to take 10 points of psychic damage, but you are not frightened and don't have to run away screaming. Wrath, you don't take any psychic damage.
I
might do that
choose to
anyways.
keep the fear, though. I want to let the fear in.
Okay.
I'm truly terrified.
And with that, the striga, seeing the two of you unperturbed by its screeches, it's going to fly down closer.
No.
Oh.
The Dullahan up on the upon its horse is going to lay his flaming sword into one of the warriors in front of him, cutting down the steel fang. Rudy, what are you going to do?
Is there any way into the castle from here?
Yes. So there's two entrances to the castle from here. First of all, there's a doorway here that leads into the tower. Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't line up, like I don't have the second level of it, but basically there's a it's a little offset, but basically where the wall connects to the main keep, there's a doorway that leads into the balcony level of the gallery. So you have to imagine that in the Great Hall, those pillars are holding up a mezzanine sort of level that goes around the entirety of the Great Hall.
Okay.
Right, and so in that level, that doorway would lead out into there.
Okay. And I don't know if I know this, but do I know if she's a shape changer?
You know what? Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
What does your heart tell you, Rudy?
18.
Oh, okay. A vampire is a shape changer.
Okay.
But what has happened to her now? And what would be considered her true form, is a little hard to determine.
Okay. Wrath, I feel like we're gonna have to have it chasing us. We're gonna have to do the best that we can to.
Excuse you.
How far away am I?
You're right. The Countess, whatever it has become, we have to give Wilhelm time to figure out the sun. We have to, once dawn breaks, this creature will be destroyed, but we are at its mercy.
But to answer your question, it definitely has the shape changer subtype, but this is probably its true form now.
Okay. I am going to run towards the Great Hall. I guess as far as I can go on it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give up Big Rudy to cast Moonbeam on it.
Okay, cool.
So,
Calling on the power of your axe.
and I say, "Follow me if you can." And I say in a very frightened voice and shrinking down to my regular Rudy size.
Okay.
So intimidating.
When a
as you
creature enters the
shrink.
spell's area for the first time on a turn, it starts area, it's engulfed in ghostly flames. But it says a shape changer makes its throw with disadvantage. If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form and can't assume a different form until it leaves the spell's light.
Okay, so this is against the okay, so I do make my Constitution saving throw with disadvantage, and I still get a 22.
Oh yeah, no.
Friggin' thing.
But I do take half damage on a successful save still. Yep.
Let's see. So 6 radiant damage.
Okay. The searing radiant light, the beam of energy catches the creature, and as the searing energy cuts into its undead form, you did notice that it had sustained some injuries from like just ripping its body out of this place, and you saw it regenerating from those wounds, but this regeneration has stopped.
Oh. From the damage that I'm doing.
Yes, the radiant light has shut off its regeneration.
Well, that's key.
Wrath, it ain't regenerating with radiant light.
This is good. This is good.
Anything else, Rudy?
Nope.
Okay. Wrath, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so seeing this newfound, can we call it a weakness?
Sure.
I run past Rudy. My full movement,
Okay.
a whopping 30 feet, and I'm going to activate my radiant consumption.
Okay.
So I burst through with bright light. Can I stay 10 feet away from Rudy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to stay away just because I don't want her to take damage. But I activate and my eyes start to glow, and within 10 feet there's light, but then bright light in 10 feet and sort of dim light for another 20. So I just start bursting with this sun radiance. And I prepare myself for what's coming. So that's my action, and I get closer to the door. And I get behind Rudy. Rudy, I saw what you've done.
And I'm like, why are you behind me? And I'm trying to push him ahead of me. Never been so scared of my life.
And I take 2 radiant damage.
Wilhelm, it is your turn.
It burns. It burns.
All right, so seeing my father come into the room, the courtyard, or not the courtyard,
The Great Hall.
the great hall of the castle, I'm going to yell his name. So I yell out, Manfred! And I want to use panache.
Okay.
So
Tell me where you're going with this.
I want to draw his attention to me, or his son. Draw it away from the battle, so that he stops attacking everybody, and just we can talk it out, father to son, maybe.
Okay.
It will mean if I succeed on the panache, it will draw his attention to me, meaning that he has disadvantage on attacks against anybody other than me, and he can't make opportunity attacks. Basically giving the Steel Fangs and everybody else an opportunity to get out of his way. But I'm also going to, as I yell his name, I turn to Elias and I say, tell your men to back down. Don't attack him.
There's actually no hooded lanterns in this part of the battle. They're all on the battlefields currently, which is good for them.
Can I gracefully hop down? Like, is there
Sure.
enough?
Yeah.
So I
Give me an acrobatics check.
Yay!
It is a drop, but like there's like a chandelier that you can grab onto and like cut it and swing down.
Yes, I do. I do it. I hop.
Casually.
I grab like the rope of the chandelier, cut it, swing across the room, getting.
I would say that that's a classic swashbuckler move, so you can absolutely use panache as part of the action to do that.
So here's I yell, Manfred, and I cut the rope. I get a 30.
Okay.
I swing down.
So cool.
And I land. He just finished slaying a steel fang, and I land right in front of him with my blade drawn. And I say, you need to stop attacking these people. We need to have a chat.
So I make an insight check.
Yes, against my persuasion.
Okay, so I only get a 13.
I get a 16.
Okay.
Woo!
So the
All panache.
creature with like the form of this creature on the horse, the body has no head, but there is like this mane of fire about it that forms a glimmer of your father's face, and it lowers the fiery gaze with you, and it says, Rule 39. Always finish what you start.
Is it right?
Using your rules against me.
I, still holding my blade out, rule number 11. There are always alternatives to fighting.
All right.
Cool.
Give me a persuasion check.
Battle of words.
What's my that's gonna be a 27.
But you rolled a 20.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
He's back.
Yeah.
And there is a moment where the creature, the countenance, the flames flicker, and almost come to a simmer. But then it stops for a moment and continues with its blade and comes towards you. Might take a little bit more convincing than just one to get this, but you've reached it.
Yeah.
Okay. The Steel Fangs. Looking about with shock. The Steel Fangs see that you've jumped down, and many of them are looking at Rickard, who is stunned. Several of them take up what weapons they have, and they turn to engage the Countess's other minions that are here, and the battle continues about.
All around
Meanwhile,
it.
outside, several of the hooded lanterns, seeing the creature coming towards them, shrieking. These hooded lanterns actually run over to Wilhelm's ballista, and they load it and they fire it at it.
Nice.
They're so brave.
So brave.
Braver than us.
And
stupid.
they do manage to score a hit. Piercing the creature. Wilhelm, do you want to roll me the ballista damage?
Yeah, that's D10. How many D10s?
3d10.
$16 on the dice. If there's
Okay.
anything to add to that.
All right.
Nice.
Meanwhile, several of the Countess's undead soldiers emerge from the tower over here, bursting through with bows of their own, and they will take some shots. Rudy and Wrath, each of you can roll a d6.
5.
4.
Okay. They shoot at the hooded lanterns.
No!
And manage to shoot down one of the hooded lanterns.
Sten Jr.
Yeah.
Okay. Reeling from the crossbow shot, the striga charges the hooded lanterns,
I knew. That's why I didn't want to attack it.
swooping down,
Oh no, my crossbow.
and it makes its first attack against Wilhelm's crossbow,
Oh no.
getting a 34 to hit.
It misses.
Sorry, a 33.
AC 35.
Smashing Wilhelm's crossbow, and just with a smash, it dismantles across the ground, brings another swipe up to another one of the hooded lanterns, also getting another 33 to hit, splattering the man's body across the battlement, and then it reaches down to bite the other. This time only getting a 20 to hit, and just it comes down with its maw
God.
and bites the top part of the hooded lantern's torso, and just the legs are just there bleeding.
Is he okay?
No, he's not. No, most of him is gone.
Ouch, my most of me.
And then it breathes out a cloud of blood-red mist from its bony nostrils and lowers its gaze towards Rudy and Wrath.
You guys are doing great. You're doing great.
What?
I know better than anyone if you when to run. And
Okay, the Dullahan. It lowers. The Dullahan steps off the horse. Here, there. You can actually pull the top part of it, and there's its legs. Kind of a fun.
Cool.
Yeah, steps off its horse, and the horse is still there, of course.
Oh.
Of course.
Of course, the horse. And taking its flaming sword, it steps around you, Wilhelm, with sort of the gait of a duelist, and points its blade at Rickard Steelfang and says, "Rule number 88. Only show mercy to those who earn it." And I don't get to like roll to break out of the panache or anything like that. I just have disadvantage on attack rolls other than you. Okay.
And you can't make opportunity attacks for
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. So I can still attack.
Yeah, you can attack me, or you can attack somebody else with disadvantage.
Whatever this creature is, it recognizes you, and it is going to bring its flaming blade down upon Rickard Steelfang. Does have disadvantage. Oh. And making its two attacks, it brings the first blade, and it brings it right up to Rickard Steelfang's neck, and stops. And then brings it back around, and stops. Like it's, each time, it cannot decide whether or not Rickard is deserving of mercy.
Do I get a rebuttal moment?
On your turn.
Okay.
Rudy, what are you going to do?
I am going to move the Moonbeam onto the striga.
Yep.
So again, it has to make another disadvantage on that.
I get a 19.
Or
Yeah.
something like that.
With disadvantage, okay, go. We're just putting
Sure.
that on it for
Yeah,
now.
that'll work.
There it is. That's on it. Okay.
So a big old 2 damage.
2 damage.
You're
Radiant.
doing it.
It doesn't get
Hey, you're stopping it from regenerating 20 hit points. Slow.
Yeah, this is important.
slowly. We're doing it. And then I run through the door. I say, Raph, come on. Goaded into coming here.
Now I
but
see two. Are they the undead right inside the door too?
They're on the lower level.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You
Oh
guys are
yeah,
coming
because
in
we're
on the-
technically on the
Yeah.
top. Sorry. Yeah.
the level that me and
That's
Elias
good.
were
That's good.
on.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Wrath, it's your turn.
I turn to the awful creature breathing blood mist at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I launch an Eldritch Blast at it in hopes to drive it back, getting a... Don't you look at me. Don't you laugh at me. I get a 14.
The Eldritch Blast deflects off of its as its strange form.
I fire another shot. I get a 18.
That also just as the Eldritch Blast come in, it brings its wings up and blocks the shots.
And I also run inside, even again letting the fear take over. And I can see that this creature is it's this abomination. Okay. Is it? From what I can determine, does it appear to be the Countess deformed, or is it a completely new?
Give me an Arcana check.
I want to sort of tell if this is some kind of like. I get a 10.
There is very little semblance of anything human-like to this creature.
Okay.
It is obviously, you can see it. You were there when she transformed. It is the product of delirium contamination. So, and from your prior experiences, whatever she is now, if she was an insane vampire before, she's not going to be any saner.
Good old knowledge. Well, thank you for that wonderful information, Bruce. And that's my turn.
Okay.
As I run inside the castle trying to escape this awful creature.
Do you close the door behind you?
Now that you've said that, yes.
Okay. There's one hooded lantern left out on who's gonna run up and pound on the door and then take out a rope and leap off the battlements to try to escape.
Oh,
Which way?
no.
Down here?
Outside the courtyard, yeah.
Yep.
Wilhelm, it's your turn.
I step around. I do that. I step around to stand between my father and Rickard. So where his blade is standing, I kind of like duck under it and come to stand so that his blade is now at my throat. And I still have my blade out, but I put my hand out and I put it on his shoulder. And I say, "You say show mercy to those who earn it. These men are working hard to earn our mercy and our respect. These halls have seen enough bloodshed. You don't need to bring more here. Rule number 54. Show forgiveness, especially at times when it is hardest to do so.
Okay. Give me another persuasion check.
I clap from the balcony.
I got a 15.
The creature howls back at you and it cries out, Rule 66. Betrayal is an act of lesser men.
Yeah, I wrote that. I mean, he wrote that.
He wrote that and he gave it to you and you live by it.
Yeah.
The Steel Fangs. Rickard Steel Fangs snaps out of what's the like as the blade comes up to his face, he shudders and stands. Ah! And he looks in front of him, seeing you, the Dullahan, and everything that's going on around him, and realizing that he has been forced out of his Lukaru form. And he says, now I don't know what you think you're gonna do by talking to that thing. Kill it!
I turn and glare at Rickard with my one eye, and I say, stand down, Rickard. I'm handling this.
He looks around him. There's chaos all around us, boy. Come on!
Then deal with it. He takes up his weapons, and he says, that thing's already tried to swing at me twice. If it happens again, I'm not backing down. Rickard, if you take one swing at him, I can't be held responsible for what happens.
I've already given him 2 more swings than I would give any other man.
Stand down. And I'm going to I just keep the one eye glared at him, sword still out to my father. But
the
trying.
lanterns. Elias Drexel sees the two of you rush into the mezzanine and says, where's the Countess?
She'll be in just a moment.
She is transformed.
I know, I saw.
Then we must delay. We must let Wilhelm deal with Dullahan, or we have no chance. That creature will tear us apart in moments.
We're trying to draw her in and maybe let the castle get between, her and us and buy us a bit more time for whatever's going on over there.
With that, Elias Drexel says, that thing, do you know who that is?
Do I know who it is?
He points. Roll a d6. See if you can put it together.
6.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
I look over and I say, yeah, I do. But that's not what you should be worried about right now. There's a giant, huge vampire thing out there that's going to tear your head off a bit easier than he would.
It's here for me. We're all here. Me, Rickard, Wilhelm. It's just like that night. Putting us all together here. It's drawn it. It's here for its revenge.
Well, you best hope that he can talk it down and not let it cut your head off.
With that, Lai says, what do you need me to do then?
Barricade the door?
We do not fight this creature. We delay it. Move fast. Spread out. draw its attention to different areas, but we cannot fight it. We must delay.
We can take cover in the cellar if we have to. He points to the stairs. But with Wilhelm in the middle there, as soon as it gets to the walls, I don't know what it's going to do.
Then we have to hope that Wilhelm hurries.
Okay. Elias, he, taking stock of the situation then, he is going to leap down and bar the front door.
This one here?
Yeah. So he leaps forward. So he's still on the mezzanine. And on the mezzanine level above the gate, there are the switches for the portcullis. So he just pulls the brakes off them, and the portcullis on the front gate slams down. Meanwhile, the battle rages on all around. And I think we got some casualties as a result. So, these guys.
More.
Yes.
More.
More.
No, now more. Unless it's the vampires.
Alrighty. So yeah, there's still a couple of the Steel Fangs and the Undead that are fighting each other in the midst of this as the battle rages on. The striga crashes into the side of the tower, sending the entire tower on that side shaking and shuddering with its strength. And you feel it punching at the door that is far too small for its form to get in, but it crashes and punches and bites at the door, sending it flying off of its hinges, and it lowers its face in through the doorway, reaching forward towards whoever it can see.
Rudy.
Good. Yeah.
Holy macaroni.
The Dullahan, Manfred, turns back to you, Wilhelm, and with fire in its eyes, says, "Rule number 76. Be loyal to your friends and dangerous to your enemies." And brings his blade once more toward... this time, though, seeing Elias Drexel, the Dullahan, points its blade, and a burst of flame fires from the blade towards Elias Drexel. Elias is hit once for 14 points of fire damage, and you just see him almost shudder in as the flames shoot out at him as the portcullis lands with a slam. Rudy, it's your turn.
So because I can see it, I can move my Moonbeam over to it?
Yeah. I'll say that you can absolutely move your Moonbeam.
Cool.
Yeah, because there's also small like arrow slit windows along here that you could move out through.
All right. It is...
Oh, I only get a 14.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form. I don't know if it has an original form. I'll leave that up to you.
Strictly speaking, this is a mutated creature.
Yeah.
And so it is still a shape changer, but this is its true form.
This is what
now.
it changed into.
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes 13 radiant.
Okay.
Nice.
Still not regenerating.
And then I'm going to run back to... I'm actually going to move towards the front door and say, Wrath, I actually think that if it's going to stay outside, if we can get on the bridge and maybe try to draw it around the building, we might be able to do some damage to it on its way. I don't know. What do you think?
It's the best chance we have.
All right. And I say, Elias, can you actually undo what you just did and let me out the front door?
Can we get outside without the front door?
If you can teleport, yes, but you would need to open the portcullis up to do that.
I realized after I closed it. I was like, whoops.
Okay. Anything else, Rudy?
Nope. No.
All right. Wrath, over to you.
I'm going to try to take some shots, some pot shots at this creature running as I run towards the
Yeah, the angle of your shot is a little bit strange with the way the tower is. So how do you want to do that?
I want to do it as like I would absolutely take them wildly. Like I'm looking to just maybe hit it, but more focusing on keeping it distracted and trying to run away.
Okay. Where do you want to run to?
So I'm gonna run again towards Rudy. I'm sort of following Rudy on the path.
Alrighty. Make your shots.
So I'm
gonna give it cover. Though,
Perfect.
That. Yeah.
And I 17
Yeah. You hit the wall.
and a 27.
That is a good shot, though.
Woo! And it's gonna take 12 force damage, and I'm gonna use my radiant consumption to take an extra 9 radiant damage. Yes. It takes an extra 9 radiant damage.
Okay. It says that it may be vulnerable to radiant damage, taking double damage from radiant.
I'm starting to get. We're starting to get that vibe. So, shooting it wildly, I see one of as I infuse the second beam.
Nice.
With radiant light, and then I run away.
Okay.
Staying 10 feet away from Rudy and taking another 2 radiant damage.
Wilhelm, it's your turn.
As he turns and points the blade and fires at Elias, I take my rapier and I slam it against his blade. And I'm going to throw out a couple here. First, as I slam it against his blade, I say, "Rule number 86, sometimes an enemy may be an ally when a greater threat exists," and I point to the creature trying to burst in through the gate. And I'm like, "Your son has recruited these people to make amends for their mistakes and serve under the Von Kessel name to help us defeat an ultimate evil." And I put my rapier then back in my sheath, and I grab him with both hands on each shoulder. And I say, "Rule number 58, the greatest evil you'll ever face is yourself."
Give me another persuasion check.
21.
The flames flicker and pop and spark on its form, and he shakes. There's a look of anguish on his face as he says, "Rule 51, do not take over things beyond your comprehension." There's a look of anguished confusion upon the apparition's face.
I could keep going, but I feel like it's...
The Steel Fangs continue to fight, and Rickard says, "Well, as long as he's not shooting at me, good job." And he turns. "Caught between a rock and a hard place by the looks of it. No matter." And Rickard Steelfang says, as he says, "Thanks for giving me the breathing room." And he collapses to his knees as he transforms once again into a monstrous loop guru. And as he does so, he says, "She can't kill me after all." And he leaps up onto the upper floor towards the Countess.
Oh.
Oh!
Elias Drexel is going to open the doors again.
Yay, thank you.
Sorry for the confusion back there. Elias.
Okay. The striga, trying to force its way through the door, instead opens its yawning mouth as a haze of roiling blood mist flows through the great hall in a torrent of small bloody droplets that leach into your skin and flesh. It is a cone attack, and because of its gaseous nature, it fills the hall. You can all make dexterity saving throws, including Rickard and Elias and the dude. Oh, well, they're all
I got a 20.
20.
I got a 14, but if that's a fail, can I use Indomitable?
Yes, you may.
I got a 14, and I don't have Indomitable.
Okay.
But I do have Evasion.
Not worse, so failed.
Okay. Well.
Woo!
So I only take half damage anyway.
Blood attack.
Blood attack.
Oh no. So this like awful, I just imagine it being like, yeah, like this awful mist that like it's like wet.
So it's 30 necrotic damage, or half as much on a successful save.
Okay.
Go, 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 go.
I'm in the middle of talking with my dad, and then suddenly blood just fills the hall. Blood mist.
Yeah.
Not good.
Alrighty. And those of you who failed your saves, you are poisoned.
We're immune poisoned.
Oh, okay.
Hero feast.
We're heroes.
Yeah.
Really, surely come in handy.
Yeah.
Guys, you both do radiant damage. We had a hero's
The
feast.
striga though does start its turn in the Moonbeam, so I do have to make a save, which I fail again.
Yeah.
17
Oh,
damage.
okay. It's gonna turn into 34.
That's amazing.
You're doing
It
it.
howls as the searing light cuts into it. Great. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's right. Doulahan. Okay. In its anguished fury, it rages about, and it and as it does so, what are we gonna do something cool.
Oh wait,
Um,
I guess I have to do concentration. Eh?
Cool.
Damn it.
And it leaps into the air, towards Elias Drexel on the balcony, carried by wings of flame. And it, as it does so, it cries out, it says, "Rule number 73. If you believe strongly in something, stand up and fight for it!" And it races towards Drexel, and takes its blade in two hands, to attack. Still with disadvantage. And the blade crashes into the wall and narrowly missing Elias Drexel as he looks, just as he finishes opening the portcullis, and he still manages to hold on and lock it back into place. Rudy, it's your turn.
I just want to say I did roll a concentration check.
Okay.
For 26.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm good? Okay.
Yeah, you're totally fine. Yeah, the DC there would have been 15.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thank you for
I was
rolling.
like, just in case.
Yeah.
But I don't have to move the Moonbeam, so I can do other magic. I think we're good where we're at. We don't have to use the bridge yet, so I'm just gonna is there any way I can move over and take some firebolt shots at it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of floating in the air there, but
Yeah, because it does cross. It goes on all sides. So yeah, there you can stand there. The walkway continues over there, so you could.
okay.
Yeah.
So I just kind of continue around and firebolt. Oh, 24 to hit.
That is a hit.
Nice.
10 damage.
Okay.
And do I see any other vampires?
There are other undead fighting in the ground level, but they're tied up by the other steel fangs for the most part.
I don't think I have any axes to throw, so I will maintain as is. Yeah.
Wrath.
I continue my run over here. And I want to look over at Doulahan. And have I figured it out too?
Roll a make an insight check. Sure.
Am I? Who's this? I get a 19.
Yeah. It's pretty clear. He's reciting Wilhelm's rules. Yeah.
Okay, the 7. Yeah, okay. I look at Doulahan and I point my ring at him and I say, listen to your son. And I cast suggestion.
Interesting choice. Okay.
DC 19 wisdom save.
All right.
Does this count as an ally engaging it?
I'm just casting suggestion. I'm making a provocative.
So, unfortunately, creatures that can't be charmed are immune to suggestion.
Probably can't be charmed. It lights up and then it disappears.
Yeah.
And I go, "It's 'cause
the
Bruce isn't here."
magic, your magic cannot bind this creature's will. Yeah.
And I
Good try.
I figured out he's your dad. And
Welcome to the
and I
party.
take 2 radiant damage.
Okay.
Good turn. Good turn.
Okay,
Wilhelm,
okay,
your
cool,
turn.
cool.
With my boots of spider climbing, I like jump onto one of these pillars, climb up, and I'm gonna race over. And again, I position myself between. There's not really room for me here,
Out of
but
my way.
I position myself between him and Elias. Again,
Careful, he can't be charmed.
thank you. Again, I don't take my sword out. I just have it, and I put up my hands. And I start by jumping into the way and saying, rule number 35, you always have a choice. Father, I'm trying to do what's right here. I'm trying to do what's right, make amends, stop the bloodbath. Rule number 82, be a man your father would be proud of.
Ooh, make a persuasion check.
"21.
He says, the flames begin to flicker. My son, Rule 74. Sometimes the only way to learn is by experience. And he looks at Elias Drexel and holds his blade at his side, as if the grip of vengeance is waning. Steel Fangs. Rickard Steelfang himself is actually a little too big to get through the door, and rushes forward towards the horrific creature, and makes a couple attacks of his own, reaching in with his claws and his own bite against the horrific monstrosity, managing to land a bite against its skull, and inflicting at least that. Unfortunately for Rickard, this thing is immune to necrotic damage. So Rickard only does 13 points of damage to it. But every little bit helps.
He should have cast Moonbeam. He should have.
And he just nips, seeing the energy of the Moonbeam, because he would actually be affected by it. Elias Drexel looks to you, Wilhelm, and says, "You're calming him down." I deserve death for what I did to him. He's here for me, you know that.
I know, Elias. He's here for you, he's here for Rickard. We've brought everybody here. But there's no more bloodshed. We just need to get rid of the Countess, reclaim our home, and you'll have done your service to the Von Kessels.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I hope so too.
Back up to the striga. The striga is in the Moonbeam. That disadvantage actually played out again for you.
5.
Okay.
Yeah! You've literally done the
Striga's had enough
most
of this.
damage.
So the striga is going to fly out of the Moonbeam and use its wonderful, wonderful 80-foot flying speed to... So 80 feet. So 80, 40. It flies back around and then will fly, crashing through the front gates.
No! Swoosh!
Because you left them open.
Oh, they're super open.
Yeah.
My bad. I was gonna try to get it to come through this way, but
The horse.
Yeah, and it plows through the nightmare horse. The horse is still alive though, because it doesn't get to attack. It had to dash to get all that distance. Right.
Oh my gosh.
The shuddering as it crashes through the front hallway, as the Duelahan looks at you, Wilhelm, seeing this creature, and a peace is descending upon it, and it leans in to you, Wilhelm, and it says, Rule 72. Trust your instincts, even if it conflicts with these rules. And it takes its blade and leaps off the balcony and drives the blade into the striga's back.
Yes!
And it does, with the flaming sword, it draws the blade down, slicing across the back of the striga, dealing 20 points of damage to it.
Nice.
The striga howls with an unearthly rage. Rudy, it's your turn.
from the Moonbeam's current position to where it is now, straight line, is that 60
Yeah, it's
feet?
60 feet.
Cool, I can move it 60 feet.
Okay.
Move the Moonbeam onto
All right.
the striga.
This time I do succeed, though.
Sorry?
I do succeed my save.
Oh, okay. 6 damage, so
Okay.
6 damage. And I'm gonna move as far away as I can.
Okay. Wrath, it's your turn.
I rain Eldritch Blast, yelling, "Fire on it! Give it everything!"
Everyone!
I get a 24 and a miss.
The 24 hits.
For 7 force damage, and 9 radiant damage.
Okay. This thing is grievously wounded with the eldritch energy and the magic that has ravaged it, but it is still standing. Wilhelm, what are you gonna do?
From the balcony, seeing my father jump down, I yell to him and I say, I'm assuming that he's responsible for the Black Sun. So I yell, "Father, bring the dawn, bring the sunlight. Rule number 99, when given a difficult choice, the option that helps the most people is the right one." And Wilhelm leaps off as well onto the back of the striga. And I'm going to attack it with my moon-touched rapier.
Okay.
Getting a 25 to hit.
It's a hit! And sneak attack fully applies.
While I'm doing this, are there windows around? Like that I could shoot to let sunlight in if there was sunlight?
Again, there are the tall castle windows.
Isn't there like a
arrow
big...
slits,
what's
and there is the one above the throne, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
like a big
Yep.
rose window. Might need some
They
repairs.
do let the light in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I yell to bring the
Shoot the
bring
glass.
the sun. Ugh.
No.
Ugh.
Ooh.
How many dice did I roll? Was it this one too? Yeah. That's 3 ones. It's only 17 damage.
Oh.
That was a bad
Okay.
roll.
It's okay. 3 ones, a 2, a 3, and a 4.
And I am like I have this epic moment in my head that if there is like a stained glass window that would see the sun, I'm gonna pull out my crossbow and fire it and shatter the glass,
All
hoping
right.
that the sunrise illuminates the room if my father allows it.
Okay. Rickard Steelfang leaps back into the room to attack the Striga. Actually, he doesn't hit. With the armored hide is like plate of this creature, and his claws rake across it, but do not wound it. Elias Drexel takes out his bow and begins shooting from the ramparts, managing to get 1 hit in for 10 damage. Shoot it! Shoot it! The Striga. Okay. Wilhelm? Roll me a d6.
Yes, sir. How's a 2 sound?
Sounds like you're gonna get the bite attack.
That makes sense. Doing what I got to do. It's gonna go well.
Striga turns to you, and it claws back at Rickard, clawing deeply into him for 20 points of damage on Rickard, and then it swipes back at the Dullahan, critting the Dullahan. So that's gonna be
He took your crit. Don't worry. He
Yeah.
took your crit.
My dad.
smashing the Dullahan for a total of 33 points of damage. And it recoils backwards, and then biting down on Wilhelm, getting a 22 to hit.
Hits.
And that is going to be... it's going to be 23 piercing damage and 8 necrotic damage.
Can I half the piercing damage?
Correct.
So I imagine the way I half it is I actually get my rapier in there, so when he bites down, I like jab
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
So it was 21 piercing damage?
It was 23 piercing, so that would go down to 11.
Great.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
The Dullahan staggers back. It says, "Son. Son. My son. My son." He looks and says, Rule 100. When you are low on options, do whatever it takes. And the Dullahan whistles towards the horse and walks towards the front gates. And as it walks towards the front gates and out onto the bridge, its flaming form dissipates into cool energy, and you see the calm visage of your father riding back into the bridge as the light of the sun begins to creak in through the windows of the castle. The Dullahan disappears in a ray of sunlight. There is a howl from the creature as its sunlight hypersensitivity kicks into gear. Thanks to its sunlight hypersensitivity, it will take 20 points of radiant damage at the start of each of its turns, the striga, until perhaps it is destroyed. But until then, let's see what kind of damage it can do. Rudy?
Seeing the sunlight come through, and I say, yeah! And I run towards it, and I want to jump off and hit it with my axe. Trying to chop its head off.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, Rudy.
22.
It's a hit.
Okay.
It's time.
Rudy doing what she does.
26 damage.
Nice.
Yes.
Another! 22 to hit. For 20 damage.
Alrighty.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't... Oh, and... It takes its Moonbeam damage on its turn.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Okay. I continue to howl. Ooh! And raise my axe.
Cleave into you see the rays of searing light as its flesh is cooking, and the smell coming off of it is rancid, like a dead corpse being incinerated. Wrath, it's your turn.
I shoot at it. I get an 18
That actually deflects off of its armor.
and a 26
That does hit though.
for 11 force damage
'Kay.
and 9 radiant damage.
Okay. It's not looking too good. It is well past bloodied. Wilhelm.
From inside of its mouth as it's chomping down on me and getting that blade in there, I drive the blade into the roof of its mouth as hard as I can. Getting a 20.
The hit.
Surprise. Sneak attack. Into its brain.
$25 damage.
You drive your blade into whatever is there in its brain, and it shrieks, releasing you from its bite. And as it stumbles backward through the front gates into the full force of the sun, it is incinerated. Yeah. Leaving only flecks of blackened ash in its wake. And that's where we'll take our break. And we are back from our short rest. We have restocked on consumables and are ready to play some more D&D. As the true dawn breaks and the undead minions of the Countess begin to crumble to dust, the binding necromantic energy animating them finally unbinding, as the necrotic energy that animates them unbinds, the steel fangs return to their human forms, and the last flecks of dust that remain of the striga flutter, fall into the river below. Yeah, there's a collective sigh.
Oh boy. Glad to see the sunrise.
You did amazing in there. I can't believe you talked him down using just your rules.
It was my father. He wrote those rules for me. I mean, some of them were passed down by his father before him, and through the von Kessel line. If I was going to reach him anyway, it would be the lessons he taught me. I am happy. I'm happy that, in a way, I got to draw swords with my father and fight for what was right, at least once together. That means more to me here in these halls, and I think I can put into words right now.
This truly shows that words can be more powerful than the sword at times. And you inspired him to bring the sun back. We couldn't have done that without him.
I don't want to take all the credit here. I mean, I asked you to keep that thing occupied, and you did, and that's... I know that me yelling that out a window may have seemed like I was throwing that on you, but it was a task that was necessary. I hoped that what I was doing was right, and hoped that you two could live long enough to allow it to happen, and you did. You survived. You fought it off long enough that we all got a chance at it as the sun rose. And it was teamwork. And I actually, at this moment, I turned to all the Steel Fangs and Rickard and Elias, and I say in like a louder voice so that it booms through the hall, and I say, I want to thank each and every person standing in this hall for what they've done for the Von Kessels and for Kesselholm on this day. Any past events that may have tainted these halls is forgiven.
Rickard, Steelfang, and Elias Drexel look at one another, and Elias says, "We committed a terrible wrong here. You speak with the grace of kings. Thank you." And Rickard Steelfang says, "I try not to dwell too much on all the people I've killed, or helped kill, or watched die. But I'm glad. Looks like you broke one curse this day. You're ready for round 2.
I made a promise, Rickard, and I'm going to keep it. We have a couple days to recover before the full moon, and I think we'll all need it. But perhaps after what we've shown you here, you maybe have a little more faith that we can hopefully do it."
I think you can. If anyone can, it's gonna be you 3.
Then we'll see to it.
I know we've seen your father many times. We may not know it was him, but I don't think that's the last you'll see of him. I think he's still watching over you.
He disappeared into a beam of sunlight, so, I mean, Not much for.
You don't understand magic. Like that's not how it works. He's
I
watching.
mean, I was going to agree with you and say I'd like to imagine that as the sun rises, I'll think of him every time. Thank you.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, that's magic. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
You did excellent back there.
It was Rudy.
I mean, I know it was Rudy. Rudy, you did excellent back there. You know that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Rudy did like the most damage to
Yeah.
that thing of anybody.
We all did fine. All of us. And I go, oh, and hope the others
There's just-
howl as well.
They don't. They're not wolves.
There's just one
Fine,
thing
fine.
left to do. And I fall to my knees and I begin drawing circles on the ground.
To call back.
Here, Bruce.
You're gonna be a while with that.
Yeah.
We've lost a few soldiers, but we'll start cleaning up around here.
Did my father ever have a funeral?
I mean, not really, no.
Perhaps we gather the bodies of the Steel Fangs, the Hooded Lanterns. There's not anything left, I think, of my father. Is there anything left of my father? Or has he disappeared?
Whatever that wasn't his body.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like an apparition than anything else. Elias can tell you what happened to your father's body.
Oh no!
but-
I'll just say, like, we gather the bodies of the dead, and we're going to hold tonight. We'll hold a great pyre in the courtyard of the castle. We'll burn the bodies. We'll say some words, and we'll honor my father as well.
There's a great crypt downstairs.
We're not going to burn the bodies in the crypt.
No, but you don't have to. It's just I'm just saying, like,
We could put them there afterwards. Put the ashes.
maybe we could bring them back. Nope. Cross the line.
No, thank you.
No. Okay.
But I do think that the crypts could use some redecorating. Perhaps we tear down the statue,
Demon statue.
get rid of the
Gotta
pool
go.
of blood, and put in a monument commemorating the Steel Fangs Hooded Lanterns and the battle that was fought here today. That'll take some time, but
We'll commission a mason.
I'll
yeah.
get that working. How do I own a castle, guys? I don't.
A lot of. We're gonna need a new steward, like the one I blasted off the roof. You're gonna need another one of those guys to kind of run.
I
Run the
think
castle,
we're
yeah.
kind of firing everybody that was working here, and we're gonna hire all new staff.
Well, maybe
Clean house.
Maybe some of the steel fangs will want to work here afterwards.
Once the curse is lifted, I'll give them that option. Is this my home now? I kind of look at Elias. Did we?
All things considered, this is probably the safest place for you.
Home sweet home, I suppose.
Although it does go against the advice of Elias when it comes to the academy. I do not like to keep secrets. But it seems like they may not need to know this.
As far as they know, we've destroyed a vampire. We've solved the problem. The castle lays dormant, and we're using it as a base of operations. Like the lighthouse. The more bases we have, the more safe places we have, the better. As far as the academy needs to know, we've secured Castle Kesselholm as a safe and secure place
Yes.
for the Hooded Lanterns, the Steel Fangs, and anybody else working with us.
Yes, so maybe keeping your lordship.
There's a few paintings
Quiet.
hanging around that we might want to take down that have pictures of folk that look exactly like me, but they don't have a good mustache. Has my mustache grown back yet?
I mean, it was a couple days ago.
I-
You got like a week.
I have like a roguish mustache. It's not the curly one. It's just it's like
I'm gonna. We could paint full beards on all the paintings, and no one will have any idea.
You know, they probably won't. The
Yeah.
paintings, they don't look exact.
Rudy, what's up?
what you pondering there?
I know you want to keep yourself a secret. Your heritage, where you come from, you know. But what about the steward? We said we'd look into what's going on there.
Absolutely, and we will. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of signs pointing us to Drakkenheim. We'll have to go there at some point. We'll have to... I mean, River's there now doing research and study. We'll have to see what she's found. But I'm starting to think that it's inevitable that in our dealings with Delirium, figuring out the source, looking at these elven ruins, trying to secure locations that are being corrupted by Delirium, at some point this is going to bring us back to Drakkenheim, and although I wanted to avoid it, and I didn't want to set foot in that city or deal with the weight of what it meant to go there, I didn't account for the fact that there might be people I care about suffering there. And it's seemingly our duty. Do I think that we can redeem Drakkenheim? No. Do I think we can reclaim the throne? In a sense, yes. The throne in Drakkenheim might not be ideal, but claiming the power of the throne, choosing a king, and claiming kingdom doesn't mean that you have to sit in Drakkenheim. And if the steward is trapped there, trying to close this rift, then we should do whatever we can to free him of that.
We've helped on one side, in the dream world. But I think in order to look at the bigger picture of what's going on with Delirium and this magic, that's got me looking at a whole bunch of flags, thinking that might be where we could help. But we might be only able to help if we use your name to get in there and get some leverage.
We'll keep it secret until the moment that it seems most opportune.
Agreed.
The Illyrians march. That's after we help Rickard. They come to claim all of the delirium, but not for gain, but to destroy it.
There's a bunch of delirium here too.
We have the delirium below us. It can be used against the Illyrians. They seek to stop whatever it is that we do. They threaten your family, Rudy. They challenge this land that you now hold some kind of claim to.
But I do see value in destroying Delirium.
Explain.
Remember that time you summoned a demon and a vampire who was holding Delirium transformed into a giant monster and ripped it in half?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bad
You
thing.
always throw that in my face.
This is the first time.
I just, yeah, it's a once off.
Remember that time that an entire village of probably decent fishing people were turned into fish, and a giant fish tried to transform us and kill us? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did that have anything to do with Delirium?
A little.
Do you remember the rattlings
look,
that were designing a submarine?
This power can be shaped and controlled. The Academy has these resources. And
What control have you seen, Raph? Where's the control? We're cleaning up messes. We're sweeping things under the rug. We are doing dirty work for your company. And excuse me for saying this, I really like River. I really like you. Most of the Amethyst Academy members I've met are pretty nice. But this control you speak of, it's gotten away from them.
And remember what Baltar Baymoon said. This is not going to stop. This is going to keep growing out of our control within hundreds of years. If we don't get started on cleaning this up now, this plane of existence is gone.
Elias Drexel speaks up. The Academy has been a strong ally and a resource to the nobility of Westamar for generations. But their power has always been held in check by the Edicts of Lumen. The monarchy of Illyria is non-existent. Our monarchy here in Westamar has been non-existent. The Caspians, the Edicts of Lumen were a compact between the royalty, the church, and the Academy. And the pillar that keeps those forces in check is our strong monarchy. Without that, with respect, the Academy is... Well, there are geniuses in the Academy, but they also don't live in the world. They hide in their towers, and they keep too many secrets. And they're able to do that because no one asks them to hold up their end of the bargain anymore. There is nobody that they are accountable to. We have had to make deals with them and give them what they want because we don't have we do not have our pillar in play. The crown, the throne, the seals of Westamar. These things languished in Castle Draken. We did what we had to do. We did what we did with the knowledge that we had in the time. But there's a lot of negotiations ahead of us. But Wilhelm, if you will take up this throne, if you will take up this mantle, there's a lot of good that you can do. Your first cousin is a good boy. He has a good heart. He might even be a good king. But he's not a warrior like you are.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, taking the throne and the crown is more than just claim. It's a process, one that at this current moment is extremely dangerous. And to throw that on a young child, unprepared, unknowing, it's not something I can allow. I feel forced into a role that I tried to hide from, but nonetheless, my rules tell me that when given a difficult choice, the option that helps the most people is the correct choice. It seems that I've been hiding from my name for too long. And the time is coming that I should state my claim. to try to help.
Yes. Do you know what you can do if you are able to take that crown?
I've heard rumors, stories about the power of the crown and the seals and the throne. I mean, I am of noble descent, obviously, was very much around that. If you know, I mean, enlighten me, because you
I
can
tell this
confirm.
to you in confidence, for I've kept this knowledge since by right it is only that for the council and the heir to know. The crown of Westamar is more than just a symbol. It has ancient power in it, power that was granted to be a balance under the Edicts of Lumen. I don't know exactly what it is, but I remember your uncle explaining that the gift of kings was that they could have what they wished. But this was a power that was meant to be used carefully.
Well,
I think it's literally true.
that would check out with the old sayings, the old stories, and whatnot. But
But at the very least, if the Illyrians are marching on Drakkenheim, if there was someone strong enough to take that throne, we could command the defenses of Drakkenheim properly. We could rebuild the city. We could retake things. This is what I've fought for years.
then I will try. Because right now, if Westamar ever needed wishes, it seems like now's the time. But we still do have many issues in front of us. We saw the globe, the map. There are still other points. We have Caspia. There was other sites further north. We're looking elsewhere. River's also looking into that.
But do you think if we can help and you could take the throne, won't that be more people, more resources at our disposal to help? It doesn't have to be just us cleaning up this mess.
That's true.
It can be the world's problem together.
If we can reenact the Edicts of Lumen, gain the power of the crown, and perhaps unite under a new banner, a new Von Kessel. And if we can unite, at least some of us who can agree to tackle this thing. And Raph, I don't disagree that delirium deserves to be studied. But we need to assess the situation. Delirium is spreading everywhere. Destroying the spread, I think, is a smart idea. The Amethyst Academy should secure some and use it for study, use it to learn. That will help us. I don't disagree with that. But when we see it in sites like Kesselholm, in Aschaffen, being sold, this is where I think destroying it might be a smarter choice.
The lesser of two evils.
The delirium that's down in the basements of Kesselholm, is it grown or is it sort of placed? Is it shipped here? or was it?
You haven't gone down there to really take stock of everything yet,
Okay.
but it was sealed in containers for the most part. So checking it out, you would have to really see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think that we should send those containers back to the Amethyst Academy. But when we do talk about Illyria's goals of destroying Delirium, I don't know if we can get them to see eye to eye with us, but if we can enforce the Edicts of Lumen and make sure that the Amethyst Academy is doing their part and that the Illyrians are doing their part, if we all are doing our part, then things will work. But right now, nobody's listening to each other.
I don't disagree that delirium is dangerous. It's that we, given time, I could study it. I can learn more about it. It has been my life's work studying this crystal. This thing, it radiates a certain energy that has so much potential. And these Illyrians, they just destroy it as if it's some kind of evil. Evil within evil is evil. We saw this with the Countess, but your crossbow, your axes, Rudy, the items that power us to defeat the evil, some of them created through delirium.
I know.
What if we forget the academy? We use them as a tool, but we together can harness the power of delirium.
To an extent.
Don't put mittens on me. With the right tools and the time, I can do what the academy does. They have their ways, but we can forge our own. If you take the throne, together we can fight back the Illyrians side by side.
Wrath. I will have you at my side when we reclaim the throne, but I need you to know that there is power in allies and friendships and learning from those who know more than us. So, don't think that you can handle everything yourself.
The academy has let us down in the past, myself included. They know much, but they don't know all. I have seen things.
Rule number 97, Wrath. Never argue with the wisdom of those who know more than you. I'm sure that you've learned much on this journey. You've experienced firsthand delirium, which means you should be more aware of the evil it's capable of.
You don't know what I saw.
What did you see?
The keyhole became a door. The door was opened.
And we closed it.
There are things. Bruce has begun his true teachings. There are things that he has bestowed upon me that allow me to elevate to new heights. There is no compromise with these Illyrians. They intend not to destroy delirium. Don't for a second think that they wash the city of evil and leave. They are here to claim the rocks, the stone, your throne, your family, Rudy. They seek, as they always have, to destroy, and we can fight them.
I agree with you. I agree that the Illyrians, they're not going to stop at just getting rid of what they think is evil. But Wrath, you said it yourself, you're going to new heights. And I think both you and the Academy need to remember to get some perspective. And that's much more important than discovering what delirium can do. Remember the people that got you there, right? People like my family. People like the people we're helping as we're going around, making sure they don't get taken in bad delirium. That is the most important thing. There's no people to protect. Why are we even here?
I have an important lesson that I say this with kindness, but oh, where is it? Rule number 38: be confident and humble at the same time. I see a new confidence flaring in you, but with it comes a dangerous pride, and I don't want you to get ahead of yourself. It could end up hurting you in the end.
I want to talk to my cat. I hear you. Look, it is front and center. We must free Rickard of this curse.
That's first on the list.
We owe him the promise. He helped us take back the castle, claim the delirium from the Countess. No matter what, we have done great work and time to celebrate.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Do you want to talk to your cat?
Yes.
Okay. Rudy, is there anything that you would like to do?
I'm gonna work on finding my familiar.
Okay. The full moon is still a couple nights away. By a couple, I mean like literally, you've got like 2 nights, so you can spend some time trying to contact the other plane. You're gonna have to make me an intelligence saving throw, though.
You're so smart.
Guessing we're long resting too.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, you all will be able to. So, a bit of time passes. Through the rest of the day. Obviously, through the rest of the day, the Hooded Lanterns, and the Steel Fangs, they go back into town, and a couple locals get drawn up to help out. The mayor sends some people up to help clear out the castle, and news sort of spreads that something went down, but it's not clear. You know, they try to keep it hush hush. And so your chambers are prepared, and Wilhelm, you're able to take over the top suite as well.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Sick.
And I imagine that we do hold a big funeral that evening.
Yeah.
A ceremony for the dead.
Yeah.
Cool. It feels weird. They show me to the suite, and I'm like, this is my dad's room.
Yep.
I actually think that for that first night, I end up leaving in the middle of the night and go stay in my old room.
Okay.
Which I'm in.
I sleep on the floor.
You're the
We all
the
sleep
top
in the
the top suite. Basically, the one of the top levels of the keep is a sitting room, a private bath, and then what was the bed chamber. But then one of the towers also has your father's private study in it as well. And even just that quick looking around at this whole place, what immediately strikes you though is doesn't seem like the Countess really used these rooms much at all. Certainly not to sleep in, because
Yeah.
she was a vampire.
Well, I try sleeping there. I enjoy the room, and I have to just get used to it. But I end up, Rudy wakes up in the middle of the night, and I'm like perched on the foot of her bed, and I'm just like, it's going to take me some time to get used to sleeping in this castle.
Searching around, the West Tower actually has a mage's study in it that has several arcane spell components and a few old spell books. Looks like it was in active use, and that someone very hurriedly took what belongings they could and fled.
More? We haven't seen the
But
last.
Elias Drexel brings you to the chamber and says, "We discovered this mage's chamber. I assume that you're the best one to look through it."
Yes, I am the most qualified. And I close the door, and I get really giddy, and I start rifling through all the stuff and like throwing papers there.
Yeah. And
It's a sleepover.
if you'd like to cast contact out of plane,
You know,
this is your chance.
I think I think I may withhold my commune with Bruce. There is much to discuss, and as I ponder in is there like that large chair that I can sit in
Yeah.
by the fireplace, and it's like abnormally tall, abnormally tall backing, and I sit and I ponder on the next events, and I think after this next activity, encounter, goal, triumph.
We're not in the room with you.
I'm just trying to think of the
talking
word.
to yourself.
Yeah, I'm just saying this out loud. After this next thing, I will have more clarity as to what to do
Mission.
next, and then I will
Quest.
mission, quest. I'm
Thing.
hearing things again. I will then seek Bruce's support.
And Rudy, how do you feel about recent events as you wind down the evening?
Rudy's just kind of. I'm walking around the hallways, looking at paintings, really thinking about what my role is in what's next to come, and just silently thinking about to the spirits how I can help Rickard onto his next journey, as well as Wilhelm, and where my role is in terms of a friend and where I can help him potentially in his kingship. But then I also go to you and say, his dad's study is untouched, right?
Yeah.
Do you think your dad has anything hidden in his study that you might be able to find? I mean, I'm sure maybe, you know how I figure important people have those books that have the insides taken out and they can hide stuff in them. I don't know.
I will check the study for hidden trinkets inside of books. Thank you.
I never know. Maybe your dad left you a note or something.
I mean, he left me the book. It has a note inside. Would you like me to read it to you?
I've heard it a few
Oh,
times.
all right.
I'm really all right.
Okay.
But I'm also going to make my way to the kitchen and eat some food.
I hope the kitchen's cleaned up.
It's not, but
I help clean it up.
okay. You can all take a long rest.
Yeah.
And pass the night. The next day, you're coming upon the full moon, and Richard Steelfang is impatiently up in the Great Hall the next morning, somewhat concerned about what's after having been. He looks very haggard and tired. Explains. Sorry if I don't look too well. Had a late night last night, if you know what I mean. It's getting close to the full moon, so can't be too careful.
Do you transform before the full moon as well?
The moon's on its way up. Sometimes you never know if you're gonna get hit by it a bit early.
Would you say it can get a little hairy?
Yeah, I would.
I know in my family, we get very hungry before a full moon. It's just our thing.
But tonight's gotta be the night. If you're gonna hold up your end of the bargain.
Of course we are.
We are.
We have everything we need. I think we have somewhat of a strategy worked out where we might not be getting our own heads torn off.
All right.
We're going to throw a lot of bombs at you.
Ow. So where do you guys want to do this?
Probably, I would think, out by the lodge, where it's in the woods, not near the town.
Away from people. I
Away
think
from people,
The most
yeah.
far away we can get as possible.
I think the lodge is a great site because like the castle is secure, but the castle also is next to the town.
Full of people too.
Although the castle we could bar.
What doesn't he need to be? If you're inside, does the moonlight still affect you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I did shatter that window.
I mean,
And there's all these.
Unnecessarily.
I mean, it let some sunlight in. It was epic.
Could we?
I mean, I can jump that high. I mean, even these walls, I can jump over them.
What about in the crypt? Trap him down there.
there's already a pit down there where the blanket to the dream world was covered. Could start there.
If we throw him into the pit, I mean, he'll just climb out.
But it might take him.
I mean, we might get a round or two.
I'm also going to retrieve the immovable rod.
Yeah.
It stopped the. I assume the sarcophagi stopped moving, and we could use it to somehow pin him, even for a moment.
That might be good. We could put him in a sarcophagi with the...
Well, I need to access.
Right, his head.
Yeah.
He needs to...
But if we put it on him, press
What
the
if-
button.
What if we made some kind of what's the thing called, like a pillar, or like where you put your head and your arms in it?
Oh, a pillory.
A pillory. We make a pillory and then use the immovable rod to sort of like hold it in place.
I mean,
Make it out of stone or something.
I think you might smash out of it.
Probably.
But that still might give us some time.
This is brainstorming.
There's no bad ideas in brainstorming.
No bad ideas in brainstorming.
Do you have a pillory?
Let me check my code.
Can you
I mean, there are not good ideas in brainstorming, but I guess there are.
can you conjure one?
All right.
A pillory, a stone pillory. You have that spell, stone shape, shaping stone into pillories.
The mud? You mean the mud?
He can make mud into a pillory, right? You can do that. Magic.
I could make a door and leave this stupid conversation.
Can you?
Yes, but I do not wish to waste it. The
The door?
what
I love our chats.
if we could hold them down for even just a moment? This
Like we could pin him
This
up against a
moon-
wall with the.
the moonbeam, this magic that you cast, Rudy, through your axe.
Mm-hmm.
Could it have the same effect on the Lucaru?
I mean,
But if he transforms back, is that okay?
exactly. If he transforms back, it might not work, and it may just.
We
put
might just
every-
kill Rickard.
No, we may just not be able to go through with everything, and we might have to try next month. He might not
Ugh.
die. Well, be fatally wounded.
I don't have that kind of time. I don't have a month.
I mean, we best get done tomorrow night then.
Reading through the Mage's Tower, trying to research Magic Circle. Can I try to determine if Rickard is a celestial or an elemental or a fae or fiend or an undead?
As a loop guru, he is considered a monstrosity.
It would have no effect.
That's unfortunate.
Like me trying to charm your father.
Also unfortunate.
What's your idea?
My idea. The full moon comes out. He transforms into a werewolf. We throw things at him and run in circles. Then Rudy chops his head off.
Okay.
I have a cross... Where's my crossbow? I go and fetch my broken crossbow. Is it broken or is it...
It's salvageable back into a crossbow, but it will never. The parts to make it a ballista have been destroyed.
At the funeral last night, we also mourned the loss of my ballista.
Well, when we see River again, we'll ask her if they can fix it.
This is the saddest.
Don't worry, we're destroying all the delirium, so we don't have to worry about people making ballistas anymore.
We don't?
You didn't catch on. Look. You know what? Fine. We pin him with a movable rod. We throw rocks at him.
All right. Raph, Rudy, I have an idea. Every time that we try to make a plan, we sit around and we come up with a really elaborate scheme. And we're always 100% sure it's going to work. And then about 30 seconds into the plan, the whole thing falls apart. And we end up just winging it.
Common for us.
I mean, so far we haven't come up with the plan where I feel 100% where it's going to work. And remember, I'm the one that has to chop his head off and get near him with the axe. So
Yes. So you need to chop his head off.
I
We need
do.
a full moon.
we do.
We go to the lodge. We set up an arena that benefits us, something that gives us an advantage, places to hide, jump, land, like a fighting pit. And we get some of the hooded lanterns. We don't want any of the steel fangs nearby. So perhaps the hooded lanterns can offer aid if it comes to it.
There's only like 8 of them left.
That's more than 0.
Okay.
If
And-
we need help.
Remember, we need somewhere where Charlie can be nearby as well.
So if we set up the arena in a sense and keep Charlie and the druid
Charlemagne.
out of view, away, until they're needed, but then we need to draw its attention to us, not to anybody else.
Yeah, Tadek needs to make a potion for Ricker to drink, and then Charlemagne has to be nearby.
So
Charlemagne has to be close enough to get up to Rickard at the moment he's slain to heal him.
So no matter what our plan is, the actual plan is we need to engage with Rickard because we need to not let him kill the unicorn.
I got an idea.
Is it engaging with Rickard?
Remember the Countess's room? How there was only a small way to get out? And the misty way up and down through the grate? Well, when he transforms, is that hallway small enough to maybe prevent him from a few rounds getting out of there?
I mean, that hallway is even small enough that it would be hard for Charlemagne to get down there, but not impossible. It's just a very confined space down there.
I think the only question is where. If we want to do it in the basement, then let's do it in the basement.
Yeah.
I say the basement's the best because we got a couple options there. We got the pit. We got that small room where even if he starts there, it takes him a bit to try to get out. That might be an option.
Then
I can shrink Charlemagne.
Yes, enlarge, reduce, you can make...
we could have a tiny unicorn. Tiny horse.
And then we hit Charlemagne in, and yeah, that could work.
Okay, so that's what you guys have to decide. Because tonight's the night. So where are you going to do it?
In the basement, in the crypt.
With the
Okay.
candlestick. No.
We maybe we can start to, for what it's worth, we start to restrain him in the Countess's room. And we can lure him into the main crypt, but we can at least get some attacks in.
Before nightfall, why don't we... I know he's going to break out of them, but why don't we tie him up,
Yep.
bring him to the basement before the full moon hits,
Yep.
get him into an ideal
I mean,
position.
the Countess's coffin chamber, there's one way in and one way out unless you can assume a misty form.
Yep. That's
I
like you were
can't
saying.
assume a misty form. Just in case, I need to get out of there.
And leave us down there. Great. So we put him in there, we block the exit, and we hit him with everything we have. I think if it's the 3 of us versus him, and we just don't stop hitting him, 3 versus 1, the odds will be in our favor.
And like I said, that little hallway, he's going to grow too big. He might not be able to get out, and even if he does, it's going to take him a while. Because that's stonework down there. I think that may be the only way we can contain him in that one room.
Put him in the basement, put him in a cell, and fight him
In her room.
in her room.
Countess's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So that's what you're gonna do.
One question. The delirium, what are they called? Bottled comet.
Yeah.
Are
What's
they
the-
are they explosive? Like, do
Yes. They explode in a 20-foot radius. So
And
if
they,
you want to
like-
use these, you'll need an open area to use them in, because this chamber, if you detonate one of these things, you're going to be detonating it in the castle underground in a small chamber where there's nowhere for you to avoid it.
and it will blow up the chamber potentially? It
At the very least, it will damage everybody that's in it.
The delirium bombs are a backup if
Mm-hmm.
he starts to escape.
If it gets out.
Yeah.
Okay. We each take one.
Okay? So you're not going to blow me up.
Only if you make us angry.
I don't want to have an entire tower dropped out of me. It seems like a bit of a trouble digging my way out of there.
I don't want to ruin my new castle.
I did have an enemy once that tried to bury me alive. That was awful. Took me days to dig out. I was furious. Ate 3 cows. I was so hungry afterwards.
Delicious.
That's a lot of cows.
It's more than a couple.
If we do this thing right, you will not leave a Lugru. You will leave a man.
All right, let's do it. See you tonight. Nice creepy place down there. Yikes.
I mean, we've already fought down there. At least we know the
We
terrain.
know that. We know the
Terrain,
feeling.
the ins and
We
outs.
know our
Tie him up.
lines.
What if you put him like pin him down with the movable rod, like pin his neck against like the
Like off.
and then and it, like right on like his like collarbone, and then that could give you like a nice clean first hit.
I say I get a few hits in if he's down with the movable rod, and then if I need to sneak out of there, I can. And then, like I said, it still takes him a bit to get out. I have a feeling he's going to get out of that room, but at least we can stall him a bit.
We tie him up.
Tiny entrance.
Tie him up. A movable rod. Explosives for backup. We do what we do best.
As long as I can get at him with the axe, I think we're in a good place. We can do this, gentlemen. We got this.
Okay. So you're going to take him down to the Countess's crypt and pin him under the immovable rod.
Tie it up and then pin him.
Okay. Allow him to transform, and you're going to use enlarge reduce to shrink Charlemagne, so Charlemagne's in the chamber standing by. Is that the idea?
Can Charlemagne wait in the hallway?
Yes. Charlemagne is a large creature, and the hallway down there is only 5 feet wide. So Charlemagne will need to squeeze to get there.
Can Charlemagne take a potion of gaseous form?
Yes.
Can
We feed the unicorn. How long do you have for
An
that?
hour.
Charlemagne still perform his needed ceremony while in gaseous form?
But they can change.
He can, yeah, he could,
Right.
he could
Yes.
drop out of it, right?
He would have to transform out of the gaseous form.
But he could wait and watch.
Yeah. Because
Above.
and ending the gaseous form is a bonus action. So yes.
So he
technically-
could wait above where he's safe, looking through the little hole.
wait anywhere as the gaseous form. Doesn't even have to wait above.
True, but then he could fly in through the ceiling, and
Mm-hmm.
he's super safe up there. He can't be attacked.
Exactly.
And then he'll fly in,
All right.
manifest.
Sounds like a plan.
We
The
did
best
it.
plan we've ever had.
Okay.
Well done, Rudy.
Tadek comes into the castle very briefly and prepares the mixture. It is a bubbling, sweet-smelling liquid that once finished, he says, it will be ready for this fluid made of sparkling star water and the ingredients provided. It once used, it needs to be used at sundown so that it has plenty of time for its magic to come into effect. So he offers it to Rickard, who says, "All right, well, bottoms up," and knocks it back. With that, as dusk begins to fall again, you all head down to the chambers below and prepare the setting that you've arranged. Rickard laughs as he's chained up. "I'm gonna break through these right away. Like it's like when I change, it'll happen real fast. You just be careful."
We then put him down and put the immovable rod and click it in place, like right up it, like pushing kind of on his chest. And we're like, that should help.
He says, "Are you sure about that? Because I'm gonna get bigger as soon as I transform. So I don't know what's gonna happen to this thing."
You said you could handle everything, right?
All right.
I also want to hex Rickard,
Okay.
and I choose his ability score of strength
All
to
right.
be cursed.
As you make the final preparations, through the glinting channel that the Countess used to escape while she still dwelled here, just the faintest glimmer of moonlight reverberates through to fill the chamber as the transformation comes upon Rickard Steelfang. He howls with blood-curdling rage as he transforms into the bestial form of the horrific Luke Garou, a massive werewolf nearly 12 feet tall that you saw in horror as it destroyed so many of the Countess's minions. The bindings around its body buckle and burst as Rickard Steelfang transforms, and his chest presses and heaves against the immovable rod, and you can hear the sound of his ribs cracking against it, and this furious howl. And so, because he gets bigger, I'm going to rule that the immovable rod, it can't move in place, but he's transforming, and this is a physical transformation, but he's also a regenerating creature. So here's what I'm going to do. He is going to push against the immovable rod, but it won't give. It's effectively going to rip through his body like a bullet, basically, and he literally, it won't move, so it tears through his body. So I'm going to say that it does 10d6 points of damage to him.
Wow. Okay.
You
can roll
it?
I don't have
Do you
that
need-
many d6s.
What do you need?
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
At everybody's dice.
Yeah.
How many is that?
That's the 10. Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mine didn't do great.
29.
Okay. And with
That was
that,
very helpful.
you can all roll for initiative.
Oh.
Go.
Rudy?
7.
Ooh. Wrath?
14.
Wilhelm?
24.
Okay. So... And we'll just theater of the mind because you're in such a confined space. And then Charlemagne will go at the... What did you get again, Rudy?
7.
Okay. Charlemagne will go on 10.
And Charlemagne's a
Charlemagne is a floating cloud.
gassy cloud.
Sparkling cloud. Unicorn farts.
What color is it? What color is it?
Rainbow.
It's like sparkling rainbow.
opalescent, opalescent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little like bits. Like
Okay.
chunks.
Glitter.
All right.
It's a cloud of sparkling rainbow glitter.
Fury burns in Rickard Steelfang's eyes as he is caught under the light of the full, under the power of the full moon. Wilhelm, what would you like to do?
I take my rapier and I just double-handed drive it into his chest.
Nice.
to get things started. 19.
It is a hit.
Hooray! We know that a 19
Yeah.
hits. I'm happy with that.
Woo! The blade punctures through his hardening flesh.
28 damage.
Okay.
Um,
Starting things off with 2 big hits.
I then take out my crossbow and I point it at his head. And I say, sorry, Rickard. I'm doing this to help. And I fire, getting a 24
Okay.
for an additional 6 damage.
Okay. He uses his first legendary action and swipes back at you.
Oh, you didn't move.
Wilhelm getting a 27 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that... Yep.
So Wilhelm, that is going to be 15 slashing damage and make a strength saving throw.
I'm going to half it.
Okay.
And a strength saving throw.
Yep.
Great. That's going to be a 3.
He throws you to the swipe just pulls you right off your feet, sending you flying and knocking you prone.
All right.
Oh no.
He takes his turn, and Rudy, I'm guessing you're right up beside him.
Right away? Okay.
I think we're all next to him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're all pretty close. Like,
We're in the room. With
yeah.
him, so.
Yeah, so if you're all kind of around the room, you know what? He's just going to maul Wilhelm.
Oh.
Yeah, Wilhelm's prone on the ground. He's just going to go right for him.
Whoa!
So
No!
he claws you again,
You gonna be a werewolf now?
getting a 17 to hit
That's my AC. I cast shield.
for another 10 points of damage.
I can't
Can't
have
knock
that
you
one.
prone again. And then he bites you, Wilhelm. Getting a 28 to hit
Nope.
for 13 piercing damage and 14 necrotic damage. What are you at?
I'm at 13.
Give me a con save.
You got this.
That's an 18.
You are not cursed with Lucaru lycanthropy.
Yay!
Wrath, it is your turn.
I position myself like so as he's like mauling Wilhelm. I stand at their head and I just start blasting into him to try to knock.
Cool. He's already hexed, too.
For a 28 to hit.
It's a hit.
So I'm going to do 12 force damage. 17 force damage, and I'm gonna knock him back 10 feet against the wall, like
Yeah,
press him back
pushing him away from Wilhelm.
off
Okay.
Wilhelm, and then I shoot him again for a 21 to hit for 12 more damage.
Okay. As the creature's basically, he's just like laying into Wilhelm, like biting into Wilhelm's flesh. And it just, you launch him off Wilhelm and back again. He's going to use his legendary action to make a mauling pounce. He gets to move with speed without provoking opportunity attacks. So he races back towards.
Does he have the immovable rod in him or no? You kind of
So
ripped
because
through.
you guys put it right on his chest.
Yeah.
And he goes from being a medium-sized creature to a large creature.
Went through him.
It ripped through his body.
So is it just sitting in the middle of the room? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's just
yeah.
sitting there,
Right? Like,
and it's got some stuff hanging off it.
yeah, yeah. Like, and he hasn't taken any silver damage, silver damage yet. So he actually kind of regenerated from that wound.
Oh no!
Yeah. So he
Almost Rudy.
he just like flies into a rage, and he actually gets to make a claw attack against everybody.
Uh oh.
So he makes one against Wrath, getting a 17.
Yep.
One against Rudy, getting a 25.
Yep.
And one against Wilhelm, only getting a 13.
Oh, I die out of the way.
Oh, wait, I have advantage against you.
What?
Oh, I actually rolled it worse. I rolled this 12 because you're prone.
I'm too busy bleeding on the floor. He thinks I'm already dead.
Rudy, you take 10,
Treat
and
it like a bear.
Wrath, you take 10. From,
And
see
Hex
the
is good.
animalistic rage. So Charlie's holding steady. Rudy, it's your turn.
All right. I yell at the guys, boys, get out of here. And I start, I say, Houdini, you stayed here with me, you coward. I use him to get advantage on, oh, thank goodness, on the lunar axe. Whew. That is 24 to hit.
To hit.
That's cock damage. 27 damage with silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Big time.
second, 15 to hit.
It bounces off his furry hide.
All right, and then I'm going to shift as my bonus action. Into my wolfy form as well. I say, "You're not the only one affected by the moon." Oh! And I
Okay.
gain 12 temporary hit points. Yay!
Yeah, Rudy.
He's used all his legendary actions for this round. Okay. Back to the top with Wilhelm.
Wilhelm leaps to his feet, throws himself against the wall behind Rudy. I imagine like next to Wrath, who's blasting. I throw myself back there so that I'm now. Rudy is in between me and the Loop Guru, and I'm like, "We're doing great!" And I pull out a healing potion, and I down it.
Okay.
Yeah, you really got in there. You really got close.
Rickard Steelfang is going to attack Rudy. All out. You've taken damage, right?
Yes.
I have advantage on my attack against you. He bites you. Getting a 20 to hit.
Shield.
And he claws you. Getting a critical hit. So you block it, but then he comes in with the bite. The energy of the shield reverberates back, and then he just brings the claw, and there's this like shattering noise as the claw punctures through the magic of the shield, dealing 20 points of slashing damage. And I need a strength saving throw from you.
23.
Okay, doesn't send you flying.
Oh, strong.
Wrath, it's your turn.
I position myself again to try to blast him into like the side of the wall now. So now like I'm trying to catch him on his like left. I threw that on purpose. I get a 21 to hit.
To hit.
Thank you. For
No, do better.
9 force damage. I shoot again. I get an 18 to hit.
It goes through.
Yes. For
Nice shooting, kid.
17 damage. Did Rickard just come?
Real smooth flying fox.
So I just start blasting him again into trying to just throw him off his balance, and I'm sort of like doing this like run around
Yeah.
the
Did you make a
chamber.
con save for Hex?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
'Cause
with
with
flying
flying colors.
He's gonna go on a rampage again and attack all of you.
Ah!
All taking damage, so I get advantage
yeah.
on my attacks again.
Oh, yeah.
The Wrath, I get a 25. Wilhelm, I get a 25. Rudy, I get your shield's still in effect. I get a 19 though. So
I am
Wilhelm,
shielded.
another 10 damage. Wrath, max damage. So Wrath, that's 16 damage.
I got 14 on my con
Okay.
save,
Hex
but I
is
also
still up.
I got 24 with advantage.
Also at Moonrise, I get charges back, and I just rolled on my
Yep.
axe, so I get 5 charges back on my, just in case. Moonrise.
Rudy, it's your turn.
Well, I'm gonna
He is bloodied. He is heavily wounded.
good. I am going to aim though. I want to make sure I don't aim at his neck because I don't want to chop his head off. You know, I go for the heart
Okay.
on his chest. Houdini!
Let's drive it in.
I crit. Oh, okay. What is that?
You should have gone for the head.
Thanos.
I guess it's 30 plus 9, 39 damage.
You cleave into his heart, opening his rib cage, and as you pull the axe back, you see like the look of death upon the face of the Loop Guru as Charlemagne the Unicorn
Now!
comes into a corporeal form and taps him with his horn. And in that moment, the magic seeps through, glimmering and gleaming, with the shimmering energy, as the man, Rickard Steelfang, collapses to the ground. The deep scar of the axe wound, like an old battle wound, healed over. And he slumps unconsciously to the floor.
Oh. I want to take. I have healing things. Some ointment, and I slap it on the wound, and I kind of slap his face. I say, "Rickard, wake up! Wake up!"
Charlemagne responds, "He may need some time to recover from this. Let him rest.
Rada.
His transformed back into a man, he may look upon his entire life like a dream."
Rudy, if you could, perhaps we can carry him to one of the nicer bed chambers.
It
And
could have been like a fireman.
yeah, we carry him out of here, and I say we bring him to like a nice room and like set him in the bed.
Yeah.
I clean off
You
the
hear a
rod.
howling of wolves
Take it.
resounding through the air that is suddenly silenced.
It worked.
We did it. We kept our promise, and Rickard is free. When he comes to, we'll let him know, and we'll bring the Steel Fangs back here and give them an opportunity to decide what future suits them best.
Agreed. Give them the choice. Give them something to do. I'm sure that a lot of them are going to feel lost right now.
And a choice is something that they haven't had in a long time. They were cursed, and some of them against their will. So I don't blame any that wish to leave.
It would be nice, yeah, to have a choice. Some of us don't have it. And they have another chance.
I guess at that we're going to also rest and wait for him to wake up.
Yeah. It's obviously it's now past midnight. So you take him back, throw him back into bed. Been a long day for yourself. He's probably not going to get up till the morning.
He's all tuckered out.
Am I able to spend like the night in like a chair by his bedside just to make sure he's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I pass out in another room. I'm
Okay.
like,
Do we
Nah,
get a long rest
boys.
again?
Yeah, I retreat to the mage's quarters.
Yeah. In the morning, there is a knock at your door. Rickard hasn't woken up yet, but do you stay there through the night?
Yeah.
Drexel knocks on the door. We have a guest in the Great Hall.
Oh. So, am I for me?
It's she's from the academy.
River.
Do you know her?
Yes. Yes.
She's here looking. She asked for the three of you.
Very well.
Put my robes on.
I clean myself up and
I grab some breakfast on the way down.
Smart.
As you come up in the morning in the cleaned up Great Hall, that's now been a few days of cleaning. Being served a coffee is River. She smiles looks at the three of you with her strange blue hair, and she says, "You three have been surprisingly busy. I'm impressed. I thought you would have called me sooner."
We had a lot to tend to here. One thing led to another, so to speak.
I see. There's been some interesting friends that you met along the way. I hope Elias Drexel didn't give you too much trouble.
Less than I expected.
On the contrary, he was mighty helpful with these hood lanterns in what we were doing here.
It looks like things worked out.
It does.
I look forward to hearing the full report. But there's been some developments that you should know about. I wanted to come in person to talk to you about it because it's important.
Okay.
What could it be?
The Elias Drexel says, "Is this private business?" And River says, "Lieutenant Commander, perhaps it's worthwhile that you hear about this as well. Stay." And River says, "While you were working here, we launched an expedition into the crater in Drakkenheim. I feel it's important that you know what happened." And that's where we're going to end for the night. When we return in 2 weeks, we will be playing as Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto, who will be mounting an expedition to the crater.
Oh my god!
And we will hear River's full story of what happened.
Oh man, that's gonna be great.
Who the heck is Sebastian Crow?
I know.
Uh-oh. Gotta shake off all the Wilhelmisms. I have a week to...
Yeah, I figured you guys would need like a 2-week gear shift. So yes, over the next couple weeks, we will be doing a little bit of a special where we will be returning to the original Draken Force for a very special series of episodes. So look forward to that in November. We'll be taking next week off, of course, but then returning with a little special series.
That's gonna be fun.
It feels like an appropriate part of the story, though, and I like that. I'm excited.
That's so good.
Look at him.
I know.
Indeed.
So brave.
So with that, a big thank you, as always, to our amazing cast, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, for playing.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for all of his work behind the scenes. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Yes, Kyle.
Kyle, stop breaking things. Oh my god.
You'd think a hand could only do so little.
I mean, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh god.
Now the echo is going to be...
You guys can't see what he's breaking. Oh, no. Just,
Look for
just
the
put it on the
Velcro,
ground.
the
Put it on the
Velcro.
ground.
Give it.
Kyle?
Give it to me. Kyle.
You got it.
You got it. Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Kyle.
much. Thank you. And a huge thank you to Monty for running such an amazing game
man.
tonight. What an epic episode. I don't know. It had everything. It made you laugh, made you cry,
Made you think?
made you think.
Yeah, a lot of strategic combat lately, making my brain melt.
Love it.
In our game tonight, we use a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists, and you can use them in your games too. They've graciously given us permission to use them in our stream games, and I hope you enjoy them. For example, the lovely Dwarven Forge that you get to see through the battle cam, the miniatures by WizKids and Hero Forge, the player character artwork by Jeremy Cole, and the music by Tabletop Audio. So go check them out and support some amazing D&D stuff.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store. You can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts, including our newest design, Shadows of Drakkenheim, currently featured by Kelly, which also can come in a sweater and a poster. Check out bit.ly/DungeonDudesMerch.
Our videos and live streams are made possible thanks to the incredible generosity of our Patreon supporters. A big thank you from all of us, to all of you on Patreon. Your work and your support makes this live stream happen. So thank you. If you enjoy the show, please consider becoming a patron of Dungeon Dudes. Follow links in the description below to find out how you can join that.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community that's exclusive for our patrons. So if you're joining us on Patreon, make sure to hop on the Discord. You can chat with us about all things Drakkenheim, all things D&D. You can chat with us about our upcoming book for Dungeons of Drakkenheim so that you can run it at your own table. But a lot of discussion happening in the Discord about that, as well as, memes and, video game chat and all of the other fun stuff. We're all in there, so come hang out.
Indeed. Kelly and I do post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything D&D. This week we got some dragons in our Dungeons and Dragons because Fizzbands just came out. So we got our copies of that. We're doing our hot take review of that. So check that out on Thursday. And of course we have plenty of other great advice for DMs and players for your favorite role-playing game.
And be sure to join us live on Tuesday, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, as we're taking a week off. So the date that we're coming back is November
the 9th.
9th. So we'll see you back on November 9th. We play the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also catch the video episodes of the show on YouTube and check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in the ruins of Drakkenheim.